governor's office is right out there on the main level. Doesn't mean
We should go see a basketball game.
Take your time, and ask me if you need anything. I'm here to help.
Mars isn't for everyone.
Invoices can be collected from the... Oh. Not here for a delivery, are you? Do you now? Well, I do wish I could help you, Captain, but Dr. Walker has been missing for some time. A shame, too. We had such high hopes for Percival. I brought him on myself to do medical and biological consulting around the city. Not the sort of work the Trade Authority traditionally does. But we thought it had the potential to become a whole new type of revenue stream for our branch. I invested no small amount of personal capital into the endeavor. But then he decided to run off after a discipline issue. I presume the miners have him hidden somewhere. Plenty of cracks on this old rock. But at this point, it's probably for the best. Dr. Walker decided to start brewing and selling his own pharmaceuticals to our customers below cost. Something his contract expressly forbade. As such, we requested our cut of the profits and began garnishing his salary. Perhaps a little too severely, but well within legal limits. It was around then that he ran off, abandoning his duty and his unpaid accounts. That won't be necessary. The Trade Authority isn't interested in employing someone so unreliable. But we would like the money he owes us. If you can convince him to pay his debts, we'd be most grateful. Pity. Perhaps a little advance on my part might pique your interest. Visit the Sixth Circle, a bar on the lowest level of the city. If someone in Sidonia knows where Percival is, you'll find them there.
A reminder that particle detonations can occur beyond the city limits between the hours of 0600 and 1800 local time.
Broken Spear's upstairs. Go drown yourself there. This bar's for Devil's vets and their kin.
Doc Walker? You're barking up the wrong...
Andy, you. Why don't you come here and tell me what some stray wants with Walker? Not every day a stray topsider wanders into my bar claiming they know people. What do you want with Dr. Walker? That's so. Now, if that tag's a forgery, it's a damn good one. All right. Maybe she did send you. Or maybe you just know where to buy your fakes. But look, even if I decided I was going to help you get in contact with Dr. Walker, Percival made himself scarce for a reason. His debt to the Trade Authority. But if someone resolved that debt, well, Percival wouldn't have to hide anymore. Can bet that person would make a friend out of Percival, and the rest of us devils. And I'm always inclined to help a friend. Well, Most straightforward way to take care of this debt would be to just saunter up to the authority and pay him direct, if you've got credits to throw away. Of course, rumor is the Trade Authority keeps all their records and collections files on a central server inside their storeroom. If someone was to break in there and adjust Percival's debt to something a little more reasonable, say a few hundred credits, I'd be happy to cover the costs. But one friend of Hadrian's to another, Sidonia's full of old utility spaces. Wouldn't be surprised if there was one that let out right into the authority storeroom. Say, with an entrance behind the bar at the Broken Spear. Ooh, and you might need these. And I look forward to hearing the good news.
Hey, you. Maybe Hadrian's friend. Come here.
Heard you talking with Lou, so you're going to help Dr. Walker? Oh, good, good. Percival's a good guy. Listen, I know how you can do it without having to resort to any B&E. Aqueous hematite. Mars is full of it. People think it's just garbage, but Percival and I, we've been working on some projects in the deep mines. At least when he wasn't slaving away at his Trade Authority contract. But we stumbled on a way to make it useful and profitable. You give our research over to Octai at the Trade Authority, it should more than cover Percival's debt. That guy's always looking for an angle. Well, yeah. We were never able to finish the research. Spacers moved in and ran us out. Started setting up shop. But if you can clear them out, I can walk you through how to finish the research. Then you can give it over to the Trade Authority. They'll get folks working in the deep mines again. Jobs come back, I become a modern-day folk hero. Then I don't have to sleep on an inflated spacesuit anymore. Yeah. So access to the deep mines can be found outside the city. It's not far. Shouldn't even need to hop back in your ship. We'd set up right near the main drill. Taking out the spacer leader should get the message across to the rest of them to buzz off. Once you've managed that, phone up here on the comms panel, and I can walk you through finishing the research.
Careful down near the mines, and enter any active site.
was that? Found one!
Beg for mercy! Ah! Oh, now we're talking. There you are!
took care of the spacers, huh? Good. Now to finish off the research, you're gonna need to collect a sample of hematite to run through the thresher. Grab a laser cutter and head back to the chamber where you came in. Once you've got a sample, Thresher's the big machine in the next room. Passcode to start it is Ares 2330. Take care of all that, and we'll have Percival's name cleared in no time. All set? Good. You can take the elevator in that room back to the surface. There should be a key stashed in the Thresher room, if the spacers didn't make off with it. I'll be waiting at the circle.
No. Ci doveva essere qualcosa. Ci doveva essere qualcosa.
Operation complete.
Para para pa 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 para pa parara para para pa parara para para pa 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 parara para para pa pa para pa pa parara pa pa pa. Non ci arrivo, andiamo prima qua. Ci vorrebbe uno snack.
Good day, ma'am.
Ragazzi, non mi sto orientando, perdonatemi. Mi sa che noi dobbiamo entrare dentro, non andarci sopra. Guarda, non tanto a livello di grafica. Viaggiare, sì, magari sarebbe perfetto. Non tanto a livello di grafica, ma hanno detto che a livello di proprio resa su Xbox Series S, paradossalmente.
Ah no, invece sì. In realtà possiamo fare. Però qua mi consiglia di creare anche altro. Mappa superficie. H2O, ferro, uranio, argo, iridio, benzene, etanolo, mercino. Acqua biologica. Ah, lui mi consiglia di fare, cioè consiglia, mi dà che prima non me lo dava, estrattore vapore acqueo, produce acqua, estrattore acqua, non sarebbe male, intendiamoci.
Mi sapete dire se il recisore conta come arma melee? Cioè tipo... No, il gioco l'ho messo a facile per un discorso che non c'ho voglia di andare a trovarmi le armi e così via. Bello sto gioco, Axel.
Wow. So. You're the extra dimensional entity, right? Do you still like
All right.
Volendo possiamo startare, però avendo levato un po' di roba, secondo me piano piano ritorniamo a fare pulizia.
È un disastro come la live dell'altra volta.
L'importante è stare
Oh, Matti, mutate su Discord, però che si sente che dici.
Mutiamoci, ragazzi. Sono neutrale. Your role is devourer. Cosa vuol dire? Cosa devo fare, ragazzix? Posso divorare? Però sono neutrale, quindi devo farle... Devour bodies to win. Ah, io dovrei... Allora, Nanni è sospetto perché non è andato a fare la... Ah no, ma questa è la mia task, sono un coglione. Come si refuel? Eccolo qua. Se mangi 3 corpi vinci. Ah. Ma vinco anche se faccio tutte le mie task? O me ne sbatto il cazzo delle task e me mangio i cadaverix? Che dite? Devo andare in giro a trovare i body? No! Porco dio! Eccoci qua.
Aspetta che mi smuto.
È morto Gabbo di sculo! Az! Ah, sì.
Mannaggia, tocca smutarlo. Aspetta.
Ma dov'è che è morto? Domanda?
Chi è che l'ha trovato?
Ma perché
Axel.
Perché 1 minuto e mezzo per il voting?
Bro, l'altra volta mi avevate detto che volevate più tempo.
No, ma lasciali perdere sti non
Ma bisogna votare adesso già, no?
Comunque, vabbè, stava davanti.
Sì, bro, se c'è Ico, sì.
Vabbè, te lo dico, dai.
Dov'è? Bro, io lo voto però.
Eccoci qua.
Ma non c'era dubbio, avresti votato anche se non
bro, continua con la scusa.
Sì.
Dov'è che l'hai trovato questo imbecille?
Ma chi è che ha trovato il corpo?
Axel,
sì.
Dov'è che l'hai trovato in?
Weapons, armi, armeria, meteoriti.
Meteoriti in alto a destra, quindi, ok. Ok. Quindi, allora, io posso garantire per Nanni e Atrix. Io ho visto loro a sinistra.
Raga, in alto a destra c'era Ico.
Io
no,
basso a sinistra l'elettrica.
Nanni e impostore. Chi cazzo è impostore?
Io, no, ispettore, non sono un impostore.
Vedi, come cazzo ti chiami?
Vedi che ti ho detto che Ico ha detto impostore, si è
Chi è?
sbagliato perché lui è l'impostore.
Comunque piacere, Gioele.
Nicolò, piacere.
Piacere, Nicolò, piacere mio.
Aspettate, c'è un attimo un piccolo problema tecnico-gestionale, ma cose che si risolvono
Strano,
veramente... No, lo sto risolvendo veramente a tempo dovuto, un attimo. Dove cazzo è? Eccolo, è qua. No, dov'è? Sto impazzendo. Scusate, piccoli difetti di mestiere.
Qual è il problema?
Il problema, Mary, è che stiamo facendo delle cose veramente complicate. Cioè, sto facendo delle cose veramente complicatissime. Ah, ok, questo qua è lui.
Ah, ma tu metti il layout così? Minchia, che palle.
Perché?
Ci metti ma ok, ci metti una vita.
Joe, è normale, io le cose le faccio in maniera professionale. Cioè, ci tengo.
Sì, però è meglio farle prima di solito le cose.
Ma questa...
All'epoca comunque era una cosa già nuova il cinema, perché comunque che si conoscesse il cinema come tale era poco più di 20 anni, e più veniva fuori questa cosa qui, più Disney comunque era già famosissimo, va detto, non è che era un nome sconosciuto, le cose lo sapevano chi era, però è stato veramente il furbo nel saper costruire una storia che riuscisse all'epoca appunto a aprire un certo tipo di collegamento, se vogliamo, con i mostri.
Non avevo un cazzo, non avevo niente.
Ma sei uscita e non mi hai detto niente, a proposito.
Pure tu sei uscita e non mi hai detto niente.
No. Sto in casa io.
Posso dire che avete fatto rima a vicenda? Avete fatto...
Sì.
Bro, l'hanno...
e alla fine si è fidanzato ufficialmente. Bravo Ale.
Ale è quello a destra.
Che non lo sapevi? Cioè,
Oddio,
dire,
ho chiesto conferma perché.
Sì, è The Ricciolo.
Quando si è lanciato ho capito che era lui, perché l'altro non è che si lancia tanto.
Esatto. Ragazzi, è stato YouTuber oscura la live. Raga, è stato un piacere anche per questa sera. Il canale non è mio, parla tu, Matt.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Raga, ci vediamo domani con faccio le back.
Ma domani potremmo fare le back.
E giovedì alta.
Se non ci convincono, perché adesso vado a casa,
Facciamo
me la
alta.
guardo un po', facciamo alta infedeltà.
Ok, quindi mi raccomando, domani.
E poi, non so se giovedì ci sei? Ma che giorno è domani? Mercoledì. Se giovedì Benji viene, facciamo primo. Se non viene, non lo so.
Sbaglio. Sì, come possiamo fidarci di lui, visto quello che combina di solito?
Se la caverà bene, vedrete! L'ho visto in azione, è un fulmine! Vi prego, fatelo giocare con voi, non ve ne pentirete! Capitano, ti scongiuro!
Va bene, diamogli un'opportunità.
Vabbè, tanto vale
Lei
provare.
va bene se Scott entra in squadra?
Certo, non c'è nessun problema. Vi ringrazio, grazie infinite!
Quanto è figo Dvalin, raga.
No,
A me
aspetta,
piace
io
un
non
sacco
volevo
quel
giocare.
portiere.
Beh, non mi direi che ora hai paura. È la tua occasione per far vedere chi sei.
Non è vero.
Ma che cazzo dici? Ma chi è che ha mai pensato che... Scusa, ma chi è che dice che tagli tendini, spacchi ossa? Che cazzo?
Poi esiste la polvere assorbente. Nel caso notiamo
Minchia, polvere assorbente per fluidi di... Madonna mia, quanto specifico.
già che comincia a perdere. Questa la si può mettere sia in fondo alla cassa oppure appunto nel pannolone.
Vuoi descrivere un po' la tua musica, che conosciamo meglio Mary di te e abbiamo fatto parlare di meno? Sì, sì.
Sono io quello più affascinante. Non essere sciocco, fratello. Siamo identici. Ed è per questo che Sweetheart si innamorerà della mia personalità. Parli a vanvera, fratello. Quando i tempi saranno maturi, cadrai ai miei piedi grazie a questi affascinantissimi baffi. Affascinantissimi baffi, dici? Quali esattamente? Io vedo solo un paio di peli del naso.
Metto qua il polipo che vi fa compagnia.
Ok, a posto, chiudila.
Buonasera. Arresta. Prima dimostrazione.
Chiudila.
Sì, tanto c'ha il cappuccio, so stronzo. Chiudete sta macchina. Come fa a scappare? Dai, c'ha il cappuccio dentro la macchina, a posto.
Arush facci la tangata stata su giù.
Dai, andiamo tutti giù.
Ok. Mamma mia, sto morendo.
Caputtana, che giornata. Non lo so che cazzo deve mostrare, raga, vi giuro. Per me è una cazzata. Ah, potrebbe essere una cazzata, non lo so,
Uzi, ma chi è Kill?
Un rapito. Ma è uno di che sei?
È un Igrenzenni.
Ah,
Uzi, però
Beppe.
se ne dai per sempre, se no cacci ruina,
No, tanto c'ha il cappuccio, non vede niente.
Ah.
È appena arrivato.
Boh, Kill non bene, ma vede.
Non è di che sei di baffo, che babbo che sono. Raga, ma che cazzo stiamo creando? Io ho un mal di testa assurdo. Ho preso l'occhio e non mi passa. Porca puttana. Occhio alla vecchia che muore veramente. Ma questa è milizia?
Cazzo è morire.
Ma sei marziano tu?
No, l'ho messo per non farmi vedere che sono io.
Ci abbiamo altri che...
C'è la vasca surgelata.
La borsa del ghiaccio,
No, io scappo direttamente. No, ma a me si ceppa il personaggio, è diverso.
L'ho notato.
Non lo so, mi si bugga il personaggio, non mi fa...
Glad to see you're back in one piece.
the saying go? Show no mercy. This life ain't easy, but it pays the bills. Hi there, friend.
Got cold beers and good atmosphere. Much more you could ask for.
The UC Exchange is a great place to buy your weapons. Just make sure to keep them holstered at all times.
It is illegal to transport plant or animal life to Mars without going through official UC channels or our trade authority partners. Adherence to this law is imperative in order to avoid unwanted infestation. Thank you for your cooperation.
Red and orange. Everything's
You've got the slate. Reduce joint wear? Oh, this formula's gotta be... Okay, so here's... And that you'll trade it... Oh, this is gonna be great. Oh, and here, a copy of... Oh, use that if you can. Good luck.
Yeah? Not something you want to...
Crime's at an all-time low around Sidonia.
Yo, hey, what's up? I'm Manaki. Feel free to ask me anything. Cool. That's what we do. Come back anytime.
Go to Mars, they say. The bay is great.
Was there something else? Do you now? Very well. Let me take a look at his... that's not the number I remember. Headquarters must have felt sorry for the old man. Here, his current balance. I expect this won't be a great hardship for you. Then I suppose that you have my thanks. Oh, and if you do find him, please let Percival know I'm eagerly looking forward to never working with him again. So strange for the central office to... I think we'll need to be more selective.
Yeah? It's done, eh? My end of the bargain. He's holed up in the old Red Devil's HQ. Place was sealed up tight after the UC shuttered our unit. Was also going to warn you about... yeah, the passkey.
Not a lot of folks would have stuck their necks. You should give that recipe a whirl on Percival's research test.
you came all this way just to do me a favor. Now you want to explain to me why you're going around harassing nefarious old men by wiping away their hard-earned debts? Tissue sample? You came all the way down here for that? Must be some damn important cells. You want to tell me what I'm about to be staring at? A fast-growing terramorph. That is concerning. Who exactly told you to bring this to me? Hadrian. She gave you this? If she made you come all the way for this... Let's get inside. I need to see these cells.
Gonna ask you to not touch anything. Got some projects in the works down here. I wasn't expecting guests. Oh, and Lou mentioned how you took care of the debt. Managed to negotiate it down to something more reasonable. Good to see someone give the Trade Authority a bit of their own medicine. All queued up. Let's gaze into this abyss, shall we? All right, just get those cellular markers tagged. Wait, where are the markers? This can't be right. This sample, it's Londinian. I'll need to get this all in the slate. Adrian really gave you this sample. You're not lying to me? Because if you told me this was a hoax, and it'd be the best damn fake I've ever seen, I'd be mad and very, very relieved. Can't just humor an old man, huh? This sample, it's got all the indicators of the worst terramorph attack in human history. I presume you've heard of Londinian. It was a city wiped completely off the map by terramorphs. The swarms are so bad, they had to blow the spaceport and seal the place off from the galaxy at large. Not a lot of samples made it off the world from the time of the attack, but the ones that did, well, they look just like this one. I didn't detect any of the telltale signatures this specimen ever sat on a ship while it was alive, either. I don't think it was transported to Tal Ceti. This specimen, it grew there, faster than any terramorph should. Which means, if we're about to start a new era in human-terramorph relations, where big, sudden Londinian-style attacks can happen outside Londinian, that's not gonna end well for humanity. So, you lugged this bad omen all the way here. You wanna tell me what your plans are for it now? The circle, huh? Could use a drink about now. Here, faster we take the lift to the surface. Not supposed to use it, but given the circumstances, I'm inclined to just ask forgiveness. Let's get going.
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hassling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say...
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back. Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble. Well, that's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the Cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on two conditions. One, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And two, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti. With both of us. Well, that's about the best news I've had all day. But before you commit, I want to make sure you know the whole story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done. Well, it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying terramorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the Cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it. All right. I'm gonna go get this workup into the Cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
The city of Sidonia is proud to be a pillar of support for the United Colonies. The local Marine recruits.
Captain! Over here.
The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus, woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin, a title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. I'm getting there. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death, on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned. I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or, if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xenoweapons. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous, which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise. Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go. Ah, Captain. Congratulations on joining the ranks of the Vanguard.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all 3 armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the Cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
Just taking her word for it as well, then.
So it would seem. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
Well, I am not. I've heard nothing here to convince me that we should do anything but wait. And I will not risk galactic peace on a question of if.
Yes, a fair assessment, Chief Diplomat. So then, while the data you two have presented is compelling, I think we can safely say it's insufficient for the level of action you've requested. Perhaps once we've...
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident? Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God. There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
rifle! Grab it! Now!
Stop! We're trying to help you!
Please! I can't stop!
What are you doing? EM fire, Captain! That's it! Now hit him with...
Ah, welcome.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent. So now, we have access to a request. Now, Captain, perhaps you could...
That's quite the leap. Madam President, while no one would argue, they've been happy to demand we handle... Seems at best.
I would remind the chief... I would also ask, because if...
Let's keep this simple. And while there should be no... Chief is seen has... I don't think it's an... Perhaps you can...
Just taking her...
So then, Captain... I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
Well,
Yes. So then...
An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident? Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God. There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Hit him with everything you've got!
Please! I can't stop!
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready. Let's do it.
Nat's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
I believe we are no longer alone.
Oh God, no time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move!
Has been issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
You might back up! Don't just stand there! Good!
Wait, officer? Are you and this woman experts? Take whatever we can get right now. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, but we're barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with Terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here. But we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you...
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry. Roger that. We're on. Be prepared.
should go tell the sergeant what happened.
Heavens, you're back in one piece. I guess our people weren't so lucky.
The cabinet's already got a plan in place to make sure attacks like this never happen again.
Can't happen soon enough. Thank you. The city owes you both a debt after this.
We were just in the right place at the right time. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all-clear signal before exiting your home.
They said you're free to come and go.
That's a relief to hear. Thank you, Captain. Hadrian, it would appear that the cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, after today's events, the cabinet has decided to revisit its previous decision. We will be supporting your collection of the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed, first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative. We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us? I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
Those creatures killed UC citizens. They're not killing
I'm gonna go
anymore.
check in with Chief Engineer Kulkarni. Start getting a plan together for that data.
are so many different groups across the settled systems, it's hard to keep up with all of them.
Yes?
Chief Yassine, these orders can't be... Yes. Yes, sir. Consider it done. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude.
I was also told the President wants us to get you into the Armistice Archives ASAP. So, we've got no time to waste. You know what the Archives are, correct? Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varoon.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varoon to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
Very funny. This is going to be hard enough already. Both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varoon? Ah, the good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen. Report suggests there's a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for intel. Maybe even convince to work with you. All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up. You're on your... Captain, would you like to finish your brief? Ambassador Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Varoon retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varoon thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval. It does, but there's a concern. We're not 100% sure Balmore is actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice. I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there. Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Be smart out there, Captain.